Anyways, yeah, I busted my mic trying to do some fancy maneuvers with it, and I twisted. I bent the plug in, so that's really what happened.
Too
It
much
wasn't.
power, dude. You don't
Yeah,
know your own
you know what?
strength.
I had to get a new mic. I needed to get a new mic anyways. I needed to give myself a reason, I think, to get a new mic. So, I mean,
Okay.
here we are. Here we are.
And we are live.
We are live. Let's go.
Man. So all I know is that Ohio State won, so nothing else matters. So
Nothing else matters. No, really, really, that's how my weekend feels sometimes. Is
yeah.
when Ohio State wins, yeah, nothing really else really matters. No, I'm not like one of those guys because like I know those guys that, like literally like their football team loses and they'll like it like ruins their whole entire week, right? Like they can't even think right for the rest of the season. They're like, this is the worst thing that could happen.
Right. And I'm
This is the
like,
worst
how
thing
much
that could happen in the history of the
right.
world. It's over
Correct.
with. My life's done. Move on. You know what I mean? Like that's the one thing they look forward to.
I
For
and
me,
I
it's
and I
like
and I asked, I'm like, damn, were you like on payroll or some shit? And like now like you're out some cash. Like what's happening, man? Like why are you so upset?
I actually don't know why some people get like so attached to the outcomes of the football team because obviously you said they're not like, and a lot of people will say like, oh, like we or this or we that, and I'm like, I don't know, I don't really say that. I don't really say that stuff. You know what I mean? It's they're the guys, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
not
I mean,
me.
I get it. You're a fan and stuff like that, and that's all good, but you can't be bummed
Yeah.
out because the team completely lost unless you lost money because you were betting, and that's mainly a you thing, not a they thing, not a we thing either, for that
You know,
matter.
it is what it is. I'm fine with it either way.
I get you. So what's up, man? How's everything else?
It's good. It's good. Everything's good.
Right?
Everything's good. I need,
Last quarter of the year.
yeah,
See, shit's here. This year has
it's
flown by,
just another
and
day. It's just
yo,
another
bro,
day. It's just another day, dude.
it's another day for sure. But for those that are in business, yeah, I better hurry up. This last quarter's
Well,
a
I mean, like
fast.
I would say, like if you haven't done anything, I get so irritated by these people that are like, "Oh, last quarter, best quarter. This is where everybody else falls through the cracks. This is where real men stand up." I'm like, dude, it's just like it's the same as the rest of the year. Like if you are pushing yourself to the point where you feel like it's a big deal that you need to get yourself going in the last stages of the year, to me, I'm kind of curious. I'm like, what have you been doing the rest of the year?
Right. It's true.
You know
It's
what I
true.
mean? I think it's a catchy thing to say, like, oh, if you haven't done anything, if you haven't done anything, look, let's, this is where boys or men are made, and boy, I don't know, some shit like that. You know what I mean? You hear it, you
Yes.
know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I
Yeah,
hear it all the time. What
you hear it.
real men are made.
Yeah,
Real
it's just
business
like,
people.
yeah,
They're made
it's
in
just
January through December.
it's like it depends on so many things, right? It depends on what industry that you're in. It depends on like so many different things where you really see like your upticks, right? And it's more important to put the emphasis on your what do you call it? Like your in season versus your off season. Like you have to have enough data to understand what that is. And
100%.
that way you can actually play the market a little bit better because you actually understand where to place your marketing as heavily in the times of the year so you get the most out of it. But it doesn't do anything for you to like try to go harder during a different part of the year just because it's the last quarter. It's like last quarter is we're not in a football game, right? Like this isn't a football game. This
True.
is life, right? Like it's next year is going to be next year and so forth. So I mean, it's um, you need to make sure that if you're running a business that you should have been putting in just as much effort in the beginning of the year that you're putting in this. Like it just shouldn't change. This isn't a last set best set mentality, right? We're not in the gym, we're not building muscle, we're not playing a football game, we're not 20 points behind on the board. I mean, this isn't the best coach will win the second half. it's not this is not it's not a
Yeah.
competition, right? It's not a
I
competition to
I agree
see.
with some of it. Some of it, no, it's not a competition. But if you want to hit like X goals, depending on the industry, let's say real estate, wholesaling, whatever, marketing and sales, it's pretty tough because at the end of the year, normally that kind of slows down. People are not really thinking about selling, and transactions get pushed back or pushed forward. And so I always say like the last quarter, you just so that I can set expectations. Like, bro, if you're thinking that you're gonna close a deal at the end of December, not gonna happen. That shit's gonna get pushed to January or whatever it is. So if you want deals to get done before the end of December, because everybody starts to like, it like literally happens. It's either they get overwhelmed, the title companies get overwhelmed, or sellers don't want to sell, or whatever it is. Like just things naturally slow down due to you know holidays and all that good stuff.
Well,
That
people
if you
have
want to
homes, right?
have
Like
a
no one wants to move during Christmas.
they probably don't, right? Like that's a tough one. So what I tell them is like you got to hurry the heck up now, October, so that you can have a really successful end of quarter. And what you do is you're not gonna just shut everything down, be like, all right, well, see you next year, right? It's fucking November. I see you next year. It's more
Right.
so like crank up the marketing and fill up that pipeline so that in January you're off to the freaking races. And like that, you have a consistent, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, because you started off right. You started off really freaking powerful at the end of the year while things started slowing down. You started filling up your pipeline for your first quarter, sales, right? Don't wait until January to say I have a New Year's resolution and I'm gonna fucking crush it this year and this is my year. No, it's 2023. You gotta crush it right now. You gotta crush it right now.
I mean, you have to have the ability to be able to continuously churn out, um, but you have to have the model that's gonna do that. Like you have to have a model that is going to sustain for like a long period of time. Like most people fail because they don't have the model associated to sustain over a long period of time, right? Like they have a model that does well, you know. And this is what we were talking about. I was talking about this earlier today. I was talking about it to somebody, and I said, "Look, I said, it's that you can hustle your way to deals, right? Like you can hustle your way to this, but if you don't have a system, if you don't have analytics, if you don't have these things in place that can actually show you when to put your foot fully on the gas, when to to kind of stay within your means, within your boundaries. You know where to when what time of the year to spend most of your money, when to like slow down spending your money. It's just you have to have the a business in place that can withstand, because it's very rare that you get a business model that is just 24/7 nonstop, never ends, circle, circle, circle in any industry. Like every business has their ups and down seasons, right? It's like even Apple, right? Apple's not selling as many phones and computers and stuff as they're selling right now. Right? Like
Yeah,
right now, Apple is selling crazy amounts of stock, right? They can't keep anything in stock. Versus like if you have if you go back like in June, July, August, they're still selling, but they're not selling as much, right? Like they're
right.
gearing up to launch a new product, to launch a new phone, to launch a new computer or whatever. So they're waiting for those moments because they know it's when they're going to put out the best prices. That's when they're going to put out everything to get the most out of their customer base, because that's when they're going to get the highest influx,
It's
is
true.
whenever they release a new product. And
It's
it's the
true.
same thing. This is why you see like at the end of the year, you'll see like gaming companies and that kind of stuff all of a sudden they start releasing the new console and they wait till October, November to release whatever it is that they're going to release, right? The new game, whatever it is going to come out towards the end of the year, because they're waiting for people to be like, oh, I want to buy this for somebody for Christmas, or I want to buy somebody for this for whatever. So it's a strategic placement of their marketing and their money, and they know where to hit people when to get the most out of their product. And you have to understand whatever it is your product is and whatever it is that you're selling to get the most out of it.
It's very true. It's like, selling cars, right? Probably end of year. Like December is probably like the highest month. And then tax season. So people got cash.
Yeah.
Right. So it is industry dependent. It just depends on what it is. Like if I was a dentist, I'd probably shut down at the end of the year. Unless I'm going to give out specials for cleanings or some shit to drive people in there. But I'm not thinking about cleaning my teeth in the month of December. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, I mean, food companies, like hospitality business is big during those months. That's when you need your most amount of your staff. You don't need as much staff during the middle of the year when people aren't coming in as much, when people are vacationing, they're leaving, they're doing all these things, right? It's like you don't really need as much staff during those times, a lot of times, versus the other times you have to know when to pull people in to spend the most amount of your money to get the most amount of your money back. And these are just things that people don't understand, or they don't know about their businesses. They don't know, and this is why most people, do well for 3 or 4 months, and then all of a sudden they collapse because they spent all their money in the beginning of the year, and when they were doing really well, and they weren't prepared for things to slow down. But I always get back to them, like if you're just starting at whatever it is your business is, like you only have upside. Like there is no downside. Like that's what's so great about restarting, even in like real estate. In real estate, like if you're getting your first deal, you haven't even done your first deal, you have nothing but upside.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to be any easier for you to get a deal at any other time of the year. Like it's still going to be difficult. So it's like you only have upside. The only people that really start to see a difference in like trends throughout the market are people that are already doing, 6 figures, 7 figures a month. Like you don't really start to see a real trend in your data and your income and your revenue until you're doing real numbers, and you've been doing real numbers for a minute. So, I mean, there's a lot of people that have been hanging around in the industry for, only a few weeks, and they think that they're about to give up because they're like hearing all these things. They're like, oh, I hear things slow down at this time of the year. I'm like, why do you care? You still haven't done anything. There is no slowdown for you.
Right.
Like there's no way for you to actually lose. Like you can only gain. Even if you close 1 deal, 2 deals, whatever.
Matter.
If you make 1 sale, 2 sales, it's more sales than you've ever made in your entire fucking life. Right.
Oh, I'm gonna wait until January. All right. Things
right.
No.
It's like for me, like, I'm going to do all these end of the year specials on, my business coaching, because, I'll be able to hook all these people that when I start, ramping their business up at the beginning of the year. So we'll do all these end of the year, holiday bonuses, specials, all this stuff. So I can lower my margins. I can lower my prices a little bit because I'll do more volume overall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which makes a lot more sense.
Well, that's the whole concept behind Black Friday, right? It's like people, they do Black Friday because they're like, oh, like we can take the oversupply, really, like we can oversupply, and then we'll still get like, they'll still make their margins back, because a lot of times in stock, when you're making stuff consistently, there's stuff that you're always not selling, right? Just sitting there, wasting money. So you can throw that out in the front. And a lot of people think they're getting a great deal, which you might be getting a great deal, but you have to understand that nobody's going to sell for those prices if they're not making money on the back end, right? It's like they're going to consistently make money. So, just this is again, like why you have to have a real business. You have to understand where you're really at. You have to understand where your data really stands. You have to understand where your business currently stands. and you have to know really where to like apply yourself in the times that are needed as the market trends continue to shift around you, because you have to constantly adapt. If you don't know how to adapt, if you don't know how to change these things, then you just get destroyed when things start to change around you. And I see it all the time, right? It's why you have these companies, people be like, you know, you have these people that have been in the business for a long time, and they'll go, oh, I've seen a lot of people in this industry come and go.
Yeah.
And the reason that is because the trends in the market tend to shift out the people that are not prepared, that don't have the systems, that don't have the employees and the leadership structure in place too, to keep everybody intact long term while things are shifting consistently.
Business is not easy. It can be consistent. It can be predictable. It can, if you have the right, if you have those know-hows, and you understand, and you actually understand data, right? Yes, be all well. But if you don't, and you're resistant to that, like learning those type of things, getting maybe kicked in the face once or twice, and really evolving from that, and be very disciplined when it comes to figuring out the data, that you're not keeping your numbers, because the money's in the numbers. If you're not good at that, there's a really high probability that you will fail. And you could be a really good, let's just say, like executor in whatever business it is. Like you're just hardworking and all that sort of stuff, but then you're sloppy with your numbers, fail. I would say like hire, if you're really bad at it and you just don't like have the knack for it, I would hire somebody that does, to give me that information, so that I have a winning chance, because otherwise it's a loss. Just recommendation.
If only you knew.
If only I knew somebody.
You can maybe check the description box below, and there might be a link in there you can go to and check that out.
There just was somebody that can help people. You know a guy?
I might know a company, a business. You never know. There might be a guy. He might have a lot of experience.
Okay.
Might want to check the description box of this video below.
That makes sense. Check it out.
Click a link.
Check it out. Oh man.
Click a link if you want to take your business to a place where it cannot be destroyed. That's the goal.
I love that.
I am I'm frustrated today. I've been trying to learn Polish.
Ooh.
There's no way this is a real language.
So it's not like Spanish?
There is no way that a whole country of people speak this language. There's no fucking way. Like literally, dude, when I tell you that it was easier for me to learn Japanese than it is Polish, dude, within 3 weeks I could form sentences in Japanese, and they don't even have letters that are even alphabet. They have symbols. Like you have to write out symbols, but I can form sentences in Japanese in 3 weeks.
Wild. That's why I've never tried. I've never tried, so I have no idea.
What in Japanese or Polish?
God. Okay. Well then, I guess. I mean, is there a reason why you want to learn that language?
Well, my girlfriend's Polish, and
it always has to be.
That's why I was previously trying to learn Spanish, but I don't know.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
I don't have to learn Spanish. I'm not learning Spanish anymore.
All right. So how about this?
I'm not learning Spanish anymore.
Why don't you get an American like that? You don't have to sit there and try to learn all these damn languages.
Well, my girlfriend speaks English, but she speaks English really well. She speaks English really well, but her mom and her dad don't really speak English that well. Like they do understand. Like they do speak. I don't know if she watches this, she's probably gonna be like, "What the fuck?" Yeah, they do speak English. They do speak English, but I just noticed like the last time I was trying to communicate with her mom, it's just kind of difficult. And so, anyways, so her mom is coming down for Thanksgiving.
No.
and I'm bringing my parents down for Thanksgiving.
Oh my. This is getting serious, guys. This is serious.
So I'm and so my girlfriend works on Thanksgiving Day.
So you got to be with the parents.
So I invited her mom to come to my house to have Thanksgiving with me and my family, and I was gonna do the whole thing. Anyway, so I just wanted to make like if she's gonna be here without my girlfriend here, then I wanted to make her feel,
That's
at
sweet,
home.
man.
Like
That's good. A little at home. Yeah, absolutely. You're
so
gonna have all types of Polish stuff around the house too.
I'm not gonna try to cook anything Polish. I'm not gonna do that.
I heard you were a great
I'm not
chef.
gonna do that.
I heard that.
I am I don't know who you heard that. I don't know who you heard that
People lie,
from.
bro. People lie all the time. That's why I always have to confirm.
If Sergio told you that, that's not true. No, I'm Sergio's easy to go for. Sergio raves about my mac and cheese. That's what Sergio's obsessed with, mac and cheese. I can cook. Obviously, I grew up in the kitchen. I mean, I grew up in a restaurant.
Yeah.
So,
It'd be nice for you to do a little, I don't know what they have. Baklava? I don't know. It's not even
that's
not even
like Lebanese. That's Lebanese.
Oh shit, never mind. I take that back.
let's not
I just try to use like a Russian
we're
word.
gonna shut
Right?
the
Like
Middle
we
East
always have
out
to-
of this podcast. We're not talking about that. We're not gonna baklava.
Sorry guys. I'm not very cultured. I'm not very cultured at all. I apologize. I'm a lot of things that I am not.
They do not have baklava. They do something. I can't think of the name of it, but it's like the Polish national, dish is like it's like I think of it. Somebody. Pierogi.
Oh, there you go.
Pierogi is the number one. Like that's the number one thing they cook in Poland, and it's like I think it's like a fried dough. I want to say I don't really know, to be honest with you. It's like a kind of like a dumpling kind of thing.
Oof.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know how to cook it. I've never cooked it, and I don't want to like cook for somebody who.
Oh, just make sure to at least like have some Polish music when they come over or something. You know what I mean? Like you want to make them feel at home.
Oh my god, I can't imagine that. But no, I'm gonna try. I'm trying.
Try. I know you're trying. I know you're such a guy. You're a good guy. I probably would never try that.
I'm really. It's because it's really for me. It's all about the parents, right? Because the girl likes me regardless.
Yeah. But it is extra brownie points though. Like
that's true. But I almost like
you gotta put things in the bank. We just talked about that. The reserves, bruh. You're gonna fuck up.
You gotta cash bail bonds. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, hey, listen, do you remember what I did for your parents? And then some of your sins would be forgiven, bro.
Dude, I'm really trying to learn. But I told her today, I was like, babe, I don't know if I can do this. This is the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life is learn Polish.
I know my boy. I know my boy's always up for the challenge and he crushes it. So you'll be fine, bro. They're probably sitting there thinking like, hey, I want to do something Americano. You know what I mean?
I know they're gonna come here thinking.
You see what I'm saying? They're gonna come with a whole fried turkey.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting here like trying to learn how to speak Polish and all this shit.
Exactly. So,
dude, you don't understand. Like, I will look at a word, and it'll say the word, and I'll just be like, "There's no way that's how you pronounce that word. Like there is nothing in that word that should be pronounced that the way that it's being pronounced."
And what system do you use to kind of, Teach
I
him.
use Duolingo. I use Duolingo, which I really had success with in the past. I actually would have probably gotten good at Spanish if I would have just kept doing it.
That girlfriend?
Huh?
If you would have kept that girlfriend?
No, if I,
Oh,
no, 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 no. No. I mean, if I kept
other
learning
other
Spanish,
things would have
other
happened.
things would have happened. Not good things. Um, I know if I would have kept up learning the language.
Yeah. I mean, Spanish is not that difficult. Literally, the way that is written, that's how you pronounce it.
It was the same situation though. It was the same situation. It was, I was at, I was cooking for the parents. Yeah, you're
Ooh,
aware.
ooh.
And and they were all speaking Spanish. And I was like, I was all hanging out there with them. We were all speaking Spanish. They were all speaking Spanish to me. I wasn't speaking Spanish. I was trying to speak Spanish, but I really wasn't speaking very well. I can only speak a few words. So I just felt bad. And I was just like, well, I'm going to try to actually learn the language.
How many times did you hear the word gringo?
Uh, quite a few times.
Oh my god.
Yeah. What's funny is I think it was like her mom's like dream for her to be with a white guy. But
Yeah, most Hispanic parents want their children to be with white people. They say that
they thought it opened the door.
it's for the betterment of the culture or some shit. So, I don't know what that means. It's like, okay, well,
It's like Juan's like, come on, man.
yeah,
What's
dude.
wrong? Yeah.
That's what they say. It's not. I didn't come up with it. So, like, I misunderstood what that meant, and so I just got with a white Dominican. She's just light skinned, right?
Is your wife Dominican too?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
but when you see her, she's like, you know, lighter than you, dude. But I messed that up. They meant American.
American. Yeah. Not skin color.
Not skin color. Fuck that up.
Anyways, yeah, I know I almost threw my phone today because I was so frustrated.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Well,
Dude, I could easily form Japanese sentences.
well, maybe impress them by speaking Japanese.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure that would be very. I'm not sure that might just be weird. Yeah, because no one's
oh my God.
there. So
I think you would be fine, bro. I think the whole point there is that you're making the attempt to.
Yeah.
Okay, and that matters more than anything else because at least you're freaking trying. And the mom is probably gonna think that's sweet. The dad's gonna be like he's a fucking idiot. But it's fine. It's fine. Like, you're trying and it's going to go a long way. Languages are not easy, dude. That's why, these apps exist and tutoring and all that good stuff because it's either you're born with it or you're not. And some people have to struggle more than others. Like, look at John Johnson. John Johnson speaks pretty much all those languages and he does it really well. Like, he has like the accents down and stuff like that. And I think that he's just naturally good at languages.
Yeah, no, yeah, he can, but he like immerses himself in the culture.
Oh, yeah.
So, he's kind of forced to learn.
Correct.
My girlfriend, she refuses to speak Polish around me, sort of. Like, I remember like when her mom was here and I was like spending time with them and her family, like her mom would speak to her in Polish.
And she would answer in English?
She would answer back in English.
Oh, man. My daughter's like that. She understands everything we're saying. And then when when we're speaking Spanish, she's like, why are you guys speaking Spanish? I know exactly what you're saying. And then you're like, all right, well, why don't you answer back in Spanish? So she's reluctant to do that. She's in Spanish now, and in high school she's struggling. I'm like, I don't understand.
How are you struggling? You're
Right?
like, how are you struggling?
Like, it doesn't make any
This is
sense.
be the easiest class that you should
Yeah,
pass.
exactly. Zero, dude. Nothing. It's crazy. It is crazy. But I guess she's immersed in. She's been here probably for forever. So for her, like,
She has been
English
here
is
for
natural.
forever. Yeah.
Yeah. Or you can immerse yourself. You can go to Poland for a little while. You know what I mean?
I mean, I
No?
could. I don't know. I might be going there by myself. I don't know.
Ain't nobody else trying to go with you, bro.
Nobody else is trying to go to Poland. No, no, I mean it's I heard it's a beautiful country. I'm sure that I will go at some point, but yeah, no, I'm just I noticed that her mom definitely feels more comfortable speaking in Polish. The only reason that she would answer back a lot of times in English is because I think that she felt like she didn't want me to feel left out of the conversation.
You both you
She would
both are
almost get
feeling
irritated
feeling the
with
same about each other, bro. You both are feeling the same about each other. You're trying to make her comfortable. She's trying to make you comfortable, and it's like an uncomfortable situation for both of you.
but her mom liked me. Her mom liked me a lot. Um,
Yes, because you're a gringo.
yeah.
Duh.
They're white. Polish people are white.
Yeah, but they're from Poland,
I'm American, you mean, because of Americans.
right? Exactly, because you're American.
Yeah.
Yeah. People love Americans, except the French. That's what I've heard anyway. Yeah,
Rich people
so
are tough. Rich people are tough.
they are. I have a really good French friend. The dude is solid. But yeah, I mean, it's very rare. And
Like
maybe it's because I'm Hispanic, so I kind of pass for.
no, my landlord, who I hang out with a lot, he's French.
Oh,
So yeah, but he roasts me. He roasts me every time we hang out. Yeah, it's on site. I can't escape. I can't escape without getting roasted for sure.
jeez.
It's rough, but
Those Frenchies are they're tough people. But yeah, man. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fine. Don't be frustrated. I think in the frustration, I think that's what blocks you too, though.
you know what? Honestly, though, it's just like I think it's. Just, I thought it was gonna be like somewhat easy. Like I just thought it was gonna be like, I don't know what I thought. I just thought I thought in the beginning, in the very beginning stages, it would at least be easy because Japanese didn't really get hard until I was like a month in, and then it was like, this is a really hard language, but like in Poland, like I started like the first lesson, and it was like, do you want to start advanced or do you want to start like from the very beginning? Like, do you want to like go through some lessons to see if you are already at a certain level, or do you want to start from the very beginning? And I was like, no, I'll start from scratch, start from the very beginning.
Start from baby steps.
And it throws out a word, and I was just like,
Ooh.
I was just like, what is that? There is no way. There's no way. And
It sounds like the people that quit their 9 to 5 to become entrepreneurs, and they get the first wrench, and they're like, "What the?" What it sounds like. Get into real estate wholesaling, man. You don't need no money. You don't need no experience.
no money around. You'll make
You
a
don't need a
$10,000
license. You
check.
don't need
$10,000 check. Right.
Yes, and make $10,000 a month. And then you get on the first phone call, the seller tells you to go fucking fly a kite.
Yeah. Hey, so I was just wondering, they literally make it sound like you can literally just get on the phone and be like, hey, are you interested in selling your house? And then you're going to be able to negotiate this person down.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it sounds so easy. All I got to do is get on the phone, find a property that someone is, the house is, beat up, and you get on the phone with somebody, their house is beat up, and you're like, hey, do you want to sell your house? And for a stupidly low discounted price. They're like,
Right.
get fucking lost, bitch.
Yes, that's right.
And you're like,
That's
oh,
right.
okay.
Oh, this is how that works. And then you're like 200 calls in.
And it's all the same thing.
Oh snap! What the hell did I do? I wonder if they're still taking applications.
I really hope that this squeaking sound is my new desk, and there's not a mouse in my wall.
What is bouncing?
No, there's a. I think this. Yeah, it's the desk. I was just hoping that there was like the squeaky that I was getting. I was hearing like a squeaking sound. I just don't want there to be like a bat or a mouse in my walls.
Oh man, knock
But I'm
on
good.
it.
No, I'm good. So dude, I had a bat one time.
The what?
I had a bat in my house one time.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
In the wall?
Yeah. Well, like where I'm from, it's kind of common. So
yeah, where I'm from, rats are common too.
No, it's seriously, you'll find like they'll nest inside of your house. And there was actually, we had a neighbor that ended up having like a bat problem. Like actually, if they were fucking
in the chimney. Do they come in the chimney?
Like, they will, or they'll get inside of the walls. Like they'll get in. I don't know how they do it, but somehow it's like you'll have some kind of like, you can have an opening or a space sometime, and sometimes they'll get inside there where the framing is, and they'll get in the insulation because like it keeps them like warm. I don't know. You really have to like look into it, but like if there's any kind of like small opening or spacing on the outside of your house for any reason, they can get in through there and they can like just start making like a home inside of your walls. And we had neighbors that literally they had a real problem. Like I think we just had like one stray bat basically that got lost from the pack, somehow ended up inside of our fireplace, or somehow inside the walls, or so somehow like, and then like just next thing I know, man, this thing just fucking flying around my living room, like just out of nowhere. You know what I mean? And
like you hold the net, like you don't have a net, like all of a sudden try to catch this thing. How do you catch it back?
This was before the thing happened too. You gotta be careful. I don't want to get canceled, but it's before the thing happened. Bats are bad now.
The zombie.
The zombie. Virus. So, are you there?
I think we're back now. You said the word zombie and it froze, which is weird.
They fucking kicked us off, man.
There you go.
Oh man,
normal.
We're back.
That's wild. So everybody's in the house while that's happening.
Yeah, everybody was in the house while that's happening.
And then you hear that the zombie virus was created from a bat, wasn't it, or some shit, or a monkey?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's just odd.
Anyways, then there was. So we start to wonder if there's bats inside of our walls. Like other people have bats inside of their walls, so we start to wonder if there's bats inside of our walls. So we're like, freaking out, like, looking at all these videos. They're like, oh, you need to go out at dusk, and you gotta watch. You gotta watch and see if the bats start coming into your house. Like at dusk, they'll start, at dusk they'll start flying out.
Oh, so right. If you want to chill out, yeah.
If you go outside your house and you see bats flying around your house at dusk, most likely you have bats inside your house. So so like the whitest people on earth, right? We're outside at dusk, fucking binoculars. Like,
Tommy,
we're
Tommy, we
we're
found
like,
one, Tommy.
we're serious.
It's affirmative. It's affirmative.
We're looking for all this shit. We're looking for, for like bat droppings and stuff around the house, like trying to identify, through Google search if we have a bat infestation. But there were people in our neighborhood that had a bat problem. And when you have a bat problem, they actually have to go in with like a whole thing. They have to like fumigate your attic or the inside of your house or wherever they're staying. They have to like, like it's not good. So
bunch of dead flying rats.
Basically, yeah, that's what they basically are.
Even worse than New York, because the rats, at least we just put the trap.
yeah, that's true.
Trap, bam, take them out. Wow.
In Chicago, when I first went to Chicago, I had never seen a real rat until I went to Chicago for the first time. And I had never seen like one in person, right? And I remember I was on my way to this gym. I was walking to this gym, and I was walking to this gym called Quads, which is a really famous gym in Chicago. And so it's like, but it's like kind of on like the bad part of town. Not really, but sort of, not like in the south side of Chicago or anything. But it's like, it's in a more like rundown area. So I'm walking past the street. And right beside the gym, there's like these apartment complexes, right? Like this apartment building. And there's like one of those alleyways where they come down, they throw their trash in the trash bins. Like old school, like to you being from New York, this probably sounds very normal. But for me, being from the suburbs, this is not something that people do. They don't live in apartment buildings between a gym and an apartment building and throw their trash in an alleyway. Anyways, I'm like walking past this alleyway, and I just see these two gigantic rats, like the size of small cats, just like dart across in front of me. You jump, you know what I mean? I'm like, holy shit! The rats jump. They like run up the wall and they dip into the dumpsters or whatever, and then they're like just gone. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a normal day in the life.
It's a normal day in the life of a New York, in the New Yorkster or a Chicago.
Yeah. Yep. And those things are nasty, dude. Those things are huge. At one time, we had a blackout in New York City. Power grid, everything shut down. I was a subway, and I had to jump off in the tunnel. Yeah. Where they live, like this is their habitat.
Right.
And they're just everywhere.
They were everywhere?
Everywhere.
Oh, man.
You got all these people just jumping off these trains in the middle of a tunnel, no light.
Oh, my God.
And just like nasty rats everywhere.
Dude, aren't rats will they'll bite humans and stuff too. They'll attack you, right?
Definitely have rabies, and it could be a big problem. Man. Yeah, man. That was probably one of the most disgusting experiences ever, dude.
I know when John first got here, he thought he was like, I remember he was like, dude, he was like, Florida is a strange place. He was like on a live one night. I heard him like he was like in the backyard, and he was like, Florida's a strange place. He's like, dude, this place is wild. This place is like the literal jungle. He's like, I see cats. There's just cats just jumping around out here. He's like, is that a possum? I think it's a possum, dude. I don't know what a possum looks like. I think that's a possum, like just chilling out. I'm like, oh man, like, if you only grew up like I grew up in the actual woods, you know what I mean? Like there were woods right behind my house growing up.
So you get to see everything.
I had everything. So I had coyotes, I had bears. Literally came face to face with a bear outside my window one night, which is interesting when I was a little kid.
Of course, you would say that. White people are always interested in shit. Always. Oh, There's a bear by the window. This is cool. Let's go outside, Bobby.
I don't. I don't think.
No, I'm
I don't
not
think
going
anybody. Nobody was
outside.
going outside. No. It's definitely terrifying as a child for sure. But like when you see a fucking bear, but they're honestly, black bears are more scared of you than you are of them for sure.
Again, white people
For
shit.
sure. For sure. They are for sure. For sure.
Whether they're scared of me or not, no chance, bro. No chance.
The only bear that I would be terrified to come into an encounter with is a grizzly bear or a polar bear. And I don't really think I have that high of a probability of running into either of those. So
That's
I
why.
think
That's why I don't even go skiing.
you're not going to run into a polar bear in Aspen.
You might run into some other bear. I don't care if they're polar bears. I don't care if it's a black bear. I don't care if it's a grizzly bear. They're still a freaking bear. I'm not
No,
down with that.
yeah, no, they could kill you for sure. They could definitely.
Yeah.
But black bears mostly will run away if they see you.
Well, I saw a video where some chick put in her AirPods,
Yeah.
got on her snowboard. She's going down the slope, like she's jamming and she's doing her thing, and she has like this camera.
There's a bear.
I don't know if you've seen it, and then the freaking bear is chasing her down the mountain.
Oh, it's got to be a grizzly bear.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
I
didn't study bear.
bear.
Anyway, the stupid bear is like literally hauling ass after her, and she's like, she doesn't know that there's a bear behind her. It was after the fact, because I think she had one of these. She had like a GoPro or something, and so she's going, and then you can see the bear in the background, like just hauling ass. But she's really good at her snowboarding, so she got all the way down the mountain, and the bear quit. I was like, yo, that would have been me. I would have been done, because I would have fell probably 3,000 times on the mountain. You know what I mean? She would have got me. I would have been done. So I no longer want to go skiing. I don't know.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, I don't know how many times that's actually happened to somebody.
It's on video, so it happened.
Was she skiing out in the wilderness? Was she in like a resort?
I couldn't tell you. I didn't ask her. I just saw snow, and I saw a mountain. She's going down it, and I want no part of it. That's what I know.
Do you own a winter coat?
Do I ever wear a coat?
So do you own a winter coat?
Yeah.
Oh, do you? Okay.
I do.
It's rare. It's
Why?
rare for.
I am originally from New York.
That's true.
Like, I may visit.
That's true. I forget it. I forget about that. But I will say that most people who have been down here.
I got a ski coat. You know, I've been skiing. It's not like my thing. Like I'm not. Oh my god! I can't wait to hit the mountains. No. I'm okay with sharks. I'm okay with like gators and stuff like that. But bears and armadillos and whatever else you guys deal with, nah, I'm straight.
You know, our friend Matt Riley recently moved to Tennessee.
Tennessee, yeah.
Yeah, and he's from Chicago originally, and he went hiking in Franklin.
I don't like where this is going already.
He was not prepared. They were hiking, and he was like, we were definitely getting lost for sure. Like we didn't know our way out of there. And worst case scenario, they ran into like a pack of like wasps, or a swarm of wasps, I guess you could say. And
bueno.
They got fucked up. Dude. They got fucked up. The dogs got fucked up. The dog wanted no part of it. They were just trying to get out of there. It was. Have you ever watched the movie Funny Farm?
No. Does it have to deal with the wilderness and stuff like that?
It has to do with the fact it's like a Chevy Chase movie.
Oh, okay.
and he is like a writer in the city with his wife. Like they live in the city, and they're having like struggles in their marriage and all this stuff. But he's like trying to write a new book, and he's an author, and he's like trying to get inspiration for his new book. So he wants to go to the country to get inspiration for his new book. So he buys he buys this farm in this like small country town, like out in the middle of nowhere. Like they know nothing about the country. I think it's like, you know, the picture perfect country that they read about in books and all this shit. They moved there, and it's just about their life like kind of unravels as they like, you know, move there, and they learn all about what it's like living in the country. They think
The
they're gonna go out
real
there.
deal.
Yeah. They think they're gonna go out there and they're gonna fix their marriage. They're gonna, you know, get in, like he's gonna get all this inspiration for his book. You know, next thing you know is it's like they're getting like, you know, attacked by wildlife. Like, you know, they have this dog that just randomly runs around their property 24/7. Like they have these crazy ass neighbors that live in the town. Like everybody's just like, you know, just crazy. It's a hilarious movie though. But that's what his
Probably
situation.
one of the I mean, a lot of that stuff is actually true, and that's probably one of the reasons why it would be so hard for me to leave South Florida, because I feel like that every time I leave South Florida and I go to like Orlando, Tampa, Lakeland, Jacksonville. I'm like, nah, I can't get accustomed to this. Not my thing. Not my thing. I'm not doing it. I might if I'm going, you know, just be like, oh, you can get so much more for your money and this and the other. I'm like, nah, I'll just make more. I'll just make more. No, I'm fine. Because sometimes it's not worth it. Like, I don't know. That's just me. That's just me. Like, I couldn't live in the desert.
I think
I couldn't live in a farm. Like, I'm not a farm type of guy. I'm not gonna go milk some, you know, some cows and. Nah,
no.
that'd be hard. Nah, I'm a city slicker. You know, born, raised New York City, and this is as, you know, this is as like suburban as it's gonna get.
Pickleball, man.
Pickleball now. You know what I mean?
We don't we don't play pickleball. We don't play pickleball in the country, dude.
You don't.
No.
At least not yet. I'm getting better. I'm getting better. So I'll be looking for you in the courts, bro.
We do need to play. We need to play. I need to get better though first. I gotta get better first.
Yeah, it's a fun game. I played with somebody today that, you know, never played, but he played like racquetball. But yeah, he was like, "Damn, this I understand why it's addicting. This is freaking good." And so yeah, crushed it today. Crushed it.
Let's answer some questions.
Let's do it.
I always get I always get some
No,
I always get some stuff.
some of them have to get skipped.
With cash transactions, as cashless, with cashless transactions not being so prevalent,
Yeah.
what do you think is going to happen with privacy and control over our personal finances? From Alex. You know, I actually had somebody ask me recently. They said, I think it was like John. John was talking about the fact that like he just wanted to like take his. He was like, "Oh, I don't even need. Why are we putting our money in a bank, right?" And I was like, "Well, there's really no difference between having the cash and having it in a bank because it's all controlled by the Federal Reserve."
Correct. Correct. So the question is, what's going to happen? And I'm not going to go through the rabbit hole. But
you can say the magic word if you really want to.
you just need to go to Fed Now and look at CBDCs, and then it'll tell you exactly what's going to happen. You're not going to have any privacy, and you're not going to have any control because it's a centralized currency. Just like it is now, it's just more controlled because it's programmable.
Right.
So the only thing you could do about that is learn about decentralized finance. Decentralized finance. So if you want to Google that, you have a plethora of information about decentralized finance, and that's why it's important to study cryptocurrency, because it's coming whether we want it or not. And so it's better to understand it and know the difference between decentralized financing and centralized financing. And you got to pick a side. So that's what's going to happen.
I'm not the finance. I'm not the finance guys. I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that where it is. Oh, you know what's funny is we were actually so for people who don't know, Juan was actually over at my house
Finally.
Saturday night. And we were actually talking about this, but it's funny. Casey asks, with upcoming virtual reality and the metaverse, do you think that living a large portion of our time in a virtual space will be healthy or destructive long term?
Anything in excess will be disruptive and unhealthy. But I think there is a place for that technology. It will increase, for some people, believe it or not, it will help with their social anxiety. So it might be good for people like that, because it's harder for them to be like in our reality, to actually go meet people, like-minded people, and feel comfortable. But behind goggles, they might be able to create a different type of I guess personality, and it helps them to kind of break out. Right. So I see that aspect. I see business being a lot more efficient, a lot more collaborative. I don't even know how to say that word, but we'll be able to collaborate much easier. Like right now, for example, Dan wants to learn Polish, and so he can legit throw those things on. This person that speaks, Polish, and he speaks American. Every time he says a word,
speak American.
English. Yes. English.
Yeah, not even English. Just we speak American. There's English.
Because there's a difference. The English speak English, and so you put these things on, and you just speak as normal in your native language, and it will come out in Polish. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean that'd be interesting.
Yeah, like I was saying at the house, was a lot of friends that have to travel to China to do business. Obviously, they don't speak Chinese, so they obviously had to have a translator. But the whole point is, like, they had to fly out to China, spend a week over there to have one meeting to do business, and you got to go ahead and fly back. So you wasted an entire week to have one meeting.
I have a visitor.
Visitor? Who's coming through?
Hello, Stan. Yeah, you can send him up. Thank you.
Wow. See that, guys? Bellman and everything. Bellman and security on point. There's actually a security before you can enter the door. then that person has to let you in, then you have to register up front, then he has to, I mean, badass, man. You ain't getting to this guy. Anyway, the virtual reality will help with.
You don't want to get to me. You're in much more danger if you get to me than
Yes, correct. Stay away. It's for your own safety, not for
for your own safety. Yeah, it's for your own safety.
Yeah, going back to that, I think it would facilitate a lot of that. So now he doesn't have to fly out to China for a week to have a 1 hour meeting.
Right.
You know, so things like that. But again, everything in excess is dangerous, because if you want to live in there 24/7 and then you don't know how to act in real life, well,
yeah, I mean, I just think that's you know, it's just gonna affect us the same way everything else has.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
it's like the internet, right?
Yeah. So you can't really, you know, stop it from coming. You just have to, you know, there's people that have been able to put down, you know, the phone and have been able to be integrated more into society. So, you know, if you can do that, then you can, you know, you can do this as well.
Yeah.
Taylor asks, considering where the economy is headed and the continuous gap of wealth, should billionaires be allowed to exist? Should there be a cap on personal wealth?
No.
I'm curious what he means by exist.
Let's off every billionaire
on the chopping block. Put him on the block. Put him on the chopping block. I don't know. Nope. We're just gonna evaporate all billionaires.
No, I think you concentrate on, you know, on creating your own wealth and stop worrying about the billionaires and the millionaires. Make sure you're on the right side of the gap.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, there are definitely like I saw a statistic basically that shows that in Miami it costs $2,800 on average to rent in Miami right now. Like that's the average rent here, and the average household income is $68,000 a year pre-tax. So that means that 49% of your pre-tax income is going to rent. And I will say that that is a problem, because we can't have everybody be a business owner and an entrepreneur making money, because it's like, you know, because we have to have other things that make society, you know, function. The only thing I can think is going to maybe change some things is the fact that, you know, I think that AI is going to take over a lot of jobs, and that is going to create a bigger issue than the wealth gap is going to create. And I think that's a problem that people aren't looking at, versus they're so focused on how much money people are making. They're not even focused on the fact that I think that like blue collar work is going to become so expensive simply because of the fact that like there's not going to be enough blue collar workers, because it's just not going to be a sustainable lifestyle. It's not going to be a sustainable job. And you're not going to be able to pay them enough because the margins are going to be too small for the company at the top. So you're going to end up having to have these robots doing these blue collar jobs. I personally, in my opinion, that's where that's headed. And I know a lot of people think like, oh, well, a robot can never do my job. I think there's a lot of people that thought that at one point, and they're starting to, you know, eat their words in a lot of sense. So, you know, I think that it does mean that it's very important to have a secondary skill set and to always consistently adapt. Like I said at the beginning of the episode, make sure that you're always putting yourself in a place to where you can adapt, to where you can be smart with your money at least. You don't have to be an entrepreneur, but what's great about things like real estate is everybody can invest in real estate. You know, everybody can put themselves in that position to where they can get in on deals. You know, not everybody can be a business owner. Not everybody can be the next, you know, tycoon. of the next, biggest enterprise in the world. But you can buy a piece of real estate, you can get an FHA loan, get a fourplex, live in one unit, rent out the other three, partner with somebody, with your fiance or whoever, have them get an FHA loan, get a 4 unit, rent out, the other three, live in one. And now together you can get married. You can now have 6 units together that you're renting and supplying income for yourselves. And then you can build up off of that. There's so many ways to really, protect yourself, build real life skill sets outside of whatever it is that you're doing, so that you can learn how to protect and hedge your money. So it's not just sitting in an account to where it's losing its value, or potentially even losing your ability to access it, as things start to change, like we talked about in the very first question. So, while I understand that we can't have everybody be an entrepreneur, and I'm not the type of entrepreneur that tells other people to say, like, oh, time to get your money up, time to change your life, time to do this. Like, not everybody is going to be able to do that. Not everybody is going to be an entrepreneur. I don't even encourage people to be entrepreneurs. I don't encourage people to go out and start their own business, because it's a whole other different type of world. And I always say, if you're the type of person that's going to be able to be in that space, you are already headed there yourself. Like you will already know that that's where you're kind of headed.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, I don't think that anybody's like listening to something who has the mind of, a business owner or an entrepreneur, or wants to create their own form of income. They don't have to listen to one podcast and be like, oh, the one line changes their life. And they're like, you know what? I'm going to start my own business. It's like, I don't think that those are the best. Like, I know there's a lot of people that get into like their own businesses because they hear somebody or see somebody post something or hear somebody do something somewhere. But it's like, there's other ways to be more intelligent with your money that don't necessarily mean being a business owner, being an entrepreneur, being an enterprise creator. That's not necessarily what those things mean. You can be anybody and get into investments that are smart.
Yeah.
That can change your life, change your family's life. I have a friend of mine who I recently started to get to really know, who has become a friend of mine. He was an ER doctor, actually, like my girlfriend. He was an ER doctor, ran the ER department, actually the hospital where she originally was doing her residency, which is crazy. But he ran the ER department there for many years. And he actually is a big proponent of teaching doctors how to invest in real estate and how to be more entrepreneurial-like, because now he's living a whole other different life probably than most of his colleagues live. And he got to retire much earlier than most of them, simply because he found a way to utilize the money that he was making inside of his profession much more intelligently than a lot of his colleagues and partners were utilizing their money during their time, right? So it's like a lot of people invest in a 401k, they invest in retirement plans, they invest in life insurance, those type of things. Whereas like he was actively betting his money against real things that had real equitable growth, that were actually growing his money over time, that he could continuously keep making money off of. And that's why his life is so much different. I mean, this guy owns a Ferrari SF90. He owns a Rolls-Royce Phantom. He owns a Mercedes AMG GT. Like, he owns a large collection of cars. He's got 3 different homes. He's got a home still in Chicago. He's got a home in Naples, which is a really expensive place to live. And he's got a home, I think, somewhere else, maybe like up in like the mountains somewhere in the Midwest. But like, this dude's got a lot of fucking money. and he didn't do it by just being good at his profession. He used his profession to use that money to put his money into other things that were going to make him actually wealthy long term. But I don't really think he would consider himself to be like an entrepreneur. He's a doctor first and foremost. He just found a better way to utilize his money more intelligently. So I don't think that the direction to go is always like, oh, learn how to start your own business so that you can defend yourself against the gap. It's like, no, it's like, be good at what you're good at. If you're really good at being a steel worker, if you're really good at working with your hands, doing these things, understand that your profession may start to really change over the next 5 to 10 years. And don't be surprised if more machines start taking over the stuff that you've been doing for a long time, use the money that you currently have, use the money that you saved up, and don't just let it sit in a bank account. Put it somewhere to where it's actively growing for you and actually
Yeah.
producing something for you long term.
Compound interest. So the sooner you do that, you know, that's where the magic happens. So I
And
agree with
it's not happening in a bank.
it's not. It definitely isn't. So I agree 1000%. You know, not everybody has to be an entrepreneur. Just got to make some smart moves with your money, be a little bit more disciplined, maybe not go out, maybe not drink a little too much, that money to kind of work and hone in on what makes you, number one, makes you money. Number two, makes you happy, right? Or you're excellent at. Do that until you something else, whether it be compound interest, whether it be buying real estate, whether it be some smart investments that are that where the money now makes enough money that potentially can supersede what you're actually making for trading your time for money. Do that. It's the way you got to look at things. But if you're just worried about the gap and this and the other, and you're not doing anything to hedge against that, killing off billionaires is not going to solve the problem. And with that note,
With that note, Juan is going to go play pickleball with some billionaires.
exactly. Like John Johnson says, I need to be in proximity.
In proximity. There we go. What can we do to increase my audience? Bob Sadai is in the chat. Mr. Sadai. Well, we could get Mr. Sadai in the video on the podcast. That might increase the audience a little bit.
Yeah, I think so too. That's how we can get the increase in audiences, just having Bob Sadai show up.
That's always a key. Always a key, man.
Cool. Well,
thanks for watching, guys. If you guys want to like this video, dislike this video, give us a thumbs up, give us a thumbs down. Let us know what you think. If you have time, make sure to check the description box below so you can check out all of our links to all of our sponsors. And you can also find all of our social media links there as well. And as always, you can catch us every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live on the REI Rev YouTube channel. And starting next week, you'll be able to catch us on Spotify. I will have all of the recorded episodes that we've currently done all the way up to episode 14 is our 14th week that we've been doing this. So keep the ball rolling. We're putting it up on Spotify so you guys can listen to this while you're in your car, doing whatever you want. Make sure you guys, if you want, you can always send us your live sales calls and have us break down how to help you get better at sales. We'll give you a fair critique. We'll give you a fair rating, rate your sales calls. But as always, guys, make sure you guys join us on the next one. And thanks again for watching. Catch you on the next one.